one of the things that's interesting about the standards, the brands, whatever, right? So like you talk about like Dolby Vision. One of the things that, from my understanding, is that it is very heavy on the mastering metadata, right? Sort of the content committee with the set and back and forth, right? You have other standards. Again, my understanding of it, something like HLG or whatever, right? That doesn't really depend on metadata exchange back and forth to work. Like, what is, and Robert, you probably obviously know a lot about this, what is the role of, and Joel as well, what is the role of metadata in this HDR landscape?
Yeah, so there's a lot of confusion around that, obviously, and there's a couple different roles. One is to at least provide some parameters in which the display device can be limited or controlled such that the intent of the image is somewhat the same. And I think there's really two views. One is a global type of look, like saying, as you were saying earlier, that I don't want a certain percentage of my screen to go above so many nits because I know I'm going to hit a global dimming limitation. Yeah, exactly, on a consumer device. Just a little bit of a tutorial on the Dolby Vision philosophy. Our philosophy is that we are going to look at the display and the mastering environment and grab enough metadata on a frame-by-frame, seat-by-seat basis, both at the HDR level and at the Rec 709 or SDR level, and with other targets in between as needed, because we're not, as we were talking before, we're not done today. It's going to keep going. There's going to be different things that happen. So the idea is to provide enough metadata where you can do two things. One is when that image and metadata goes to a device that has Dolby Vision processing in it, we can replicate the environment in which the image intent was created, or the environment at the colorist workstation. So the concept of image fidelity across a multitude of devices. You mentioned global dimming. If you have a chance to, yet today or tomorrow, to get over to our booth, we have a demonstration of the PRM, which is a $40,000 reference grade monitor. It is actually a grade 1 reference monitor. Yep. And a 1,000 nit LG TV that we bought at Fry's last week. And the only reason we say that is we're just trying to say, look, we literally brought this off the shelf and put it here and played back this material on it. It is a global dimming device, and you can see that there's a big difference in the dynamic range between the PRM at $40,000 and this $1,000 LG TV.
Oh, believe me, Ron knows my pain well about this. I totally bought like every LG display to try to use as like a OLED client monitor, right. And been disappointed for that very reason.
Well, the point of this demonstration in our booth is showing the integrity or the fidelity of that image as it was set at the color grading workstation, as it's being...
The translation from one to the other, right, sure.
And yes, the dynamic range is less, but when you look at the tonal quality of the image and the color clarity...
That translates well.
It translates very well, and yes, Katie will look at it and be able to say exactly where the dynamic range is missing information, because she gets to look at it.
She carries around a Sharpie with her.
That's right. Yeah, we were racing the Sharpie that she had on there. But a consumer will see that as a really good replication. This is good and bad, because that means when you walk into Fry's, and if they turn on all the Dolby Vision sets into Dolby Vision mode, they all look exactly the same, and no one buys the expensive one. They buy all the cheap ones, right?
Now, one last question on this, because we're kind of out of time, but I just want to, this is the part that I still don't get, right? So I get the grading, I get the technology,